Boo! How do you guys like the new Halloween decorations? It's cute, right? So every year during October, I like to go to the store to see all the pumpkins. And this time I came across the tiniest, cutest pumpkin ever. So, of course, I had to buy it and bring it home. I named it Jabby, and it makes me so happy. And honestly, I kind of needed it after the doozy of a year I've been having. I wasn't planning to do anything special this Halloween, and with only half October left to go, I figured there wouldn't be any festive videos from me this year. But as I was staring at my little pumpkin, I had this bright idea to make my life more festive! You guys know those cute art memes where you draw a character in different hairstyles or outfits? Well, I thought, what if I drew a character but in 6 different Halloween costumes instead? And so my bright idea for an art challenge is coming to fruition. I'm sure you guys weren't expecting another art video from me this month, but what can I say? It's Halloween and you guys deserve a fun, gentle spook. So here's the premise that I have. I decided that I want to draw a character in 6 different costumes. I for sure knew I wanted to include a vampire, witch, and werewolf because those are just classics. Then for the last 3 costumes, I had you guys vote on which of these 4 costumes you'd like. Unfortunately, zombie came in last place, even though I love zombies so much. But my second favorite spooky costume, clown, barely made it in. So our last 3 costumes are going to be clown, doll, and ghost. With the costumes chosen, it's now time to pick our character. Well, okay. If you read the title and saw the thumbnail, you guys already know it's Venti. No surprises there. Yep, I'm drawing Venti. His banner is currently out in Genshin Impact, and of course, I had to celebrate. I'll also be pulling for him later in the videos, so tune in till then to see if I manage to pull my C4 Venti. Now, without further ado, let's get drawing. The first Halloween costume I'm gonna draw Venti in is a vampire. Vampires are known for their sharp fangs, bat and gothic aesthetics, cloaks, and their thirst for blood. Sometimes they might have dull or pale skin because they're undead. Vampires were popularized partly by the fictitious novel Dracula, and when I read it, I felt like seduction played a pretty big role in a vampire's prowess. So I took inspiration from succubus and incubus designs for my vampire outfit. Instead of a devilish outfit, I just wanted to keep the bat wings in design, a crop top, fangs, and some gothic and Victorian aesthetics with frills and ribbons, as well as a cloak. After I sketch out my initial design, I'm working on the line art now. I'm keeping this simple and fast since I have 6 costumes to draw after all. Now that I'm happy with the line art, it's time to color. I want to keep the colors generic and recognizable, so I'm going for a white dress shirt, a black vest and cloak, and a red ribbon. I'm keeping his hair in braids just to have a consistent element in all the drawings. By the way, thank you so much for 500k subscribers. I'm honored that I can keep making videos and art for so many of you. After some finishing touches, our vampire Venti is completed. I love his cute crop top, and I think he'd make a cute, impish vampire underling. For the next costume, I'll be drawing Venti as a werewolf. Although I wasn't Team Jacob or even Team Edward for that matter in Twilight, I have fond memories of wolves and werewolves because I had so many friends who loved wolves and drawing wolves. They might have been furries, but hey, who isn't a little furry now thanks to Zootopia and Kovu? Werewolves are humans believed to have the ability to shapeshift into wolves, particularly on nights with a full moon. Some believe that some werewolves were cursed by witches, and parallel to witch trials, there were werewolf trials and persecutions as well. With their concept spreading widely in Europe, I like to imagine werewolves starting as ordinary villagers, typically inflicted with werewolfism unexpectedly. So I wanted to give my Venti a torn up shirt as if he turned without expecting to. He's also in suspenders, and I gave him big furry ears. To sell the dog boy look, I gave him a big leather collar. Colors here are simple. Just a white shirt with his suspenders and collars in a dark brown leather color. I make his ears the same color as his hair and give him a rather mischievous look. After some finishing touches, our werewolf Venti is done. I like giving rather cute characters a wild, cool side sometimes. I just love the juxtapositions of cute and cool. The third Halloween costume is of course the beloved witch. While I can go on and on about how much I like witches, I'll spare you my feelings to tell you a little bit about witches in general. The words witch and witchcraft are believed to be over 1,000 years old, and the concept of witchcraft, the ability to use magic, existed in many cultures and parts of the world. Back then, witchcraft was believed to be used to harm people, and most people accused of witchcraft were women. People who were accused of being witches were often banished or persecuted if found guilty. Today, while some depictions of witches are evil, we have a much more positive view of the ability to use magic. Some of the most popular works today depict witches as powerful, brave heroes. I particularly enjoyed stories like Winx Club, Witch, The Owl House, My Little Pony, to name more literal examples. However, I personally feel like the entire magical girl genre encompasses these magic and witch themes too, so I really enjoy them. For my depiction, I went for a classic witch hat and cloak design. I also included a ribbon with an enamel crystal to tie in that this is a costume for Venti. Although male witches are usually referred to as wizards or sorcerers, I don't really subscribe to that too heavily, so I just like to use witch as an all-encompassing term. I wanted something that was obviously more Halloween themed, so I chose a purple and orange combo for his color scheme. Venti already has the greenish eyes and hair ombre to complete the combo. After some finishing touches and a little bit of magic love on my part, our witch Venti is done. There's nothing like a big ol' witch hat and some fun magic mystery, which makes witches and magic so superior. We're halfway done with our Halloween costumes for Venti. I think they're coming out very fun and festive so far. But now it's time for a short break to do some pulls in Genshin Impact. Hello, hello. It is time for the Venti pulls. I only have 42 pulls, so I hope he comes home. If he doesn't, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm praying. Please, gacha gods, bring him home. The first 10 pull. Okay, it's a purple. I'm gonna skip it. One more. 10 pull. Please. Oh, another purple. Okay, skip, skip, skip. Please, I'm begging. Venti, come home. Okay, it's another purple. Okay, this is my last 10 pull. It's a yellow? It's a yellow? It's a legendary? Please be Venti. Please. Okay. I can be free. I am happy. Thank God. Venti. Nice, nice, nice. This next one is another personal favorite of mine. I'm drawing Venti in a clown costume. Okay, don't click away. I promise my depiction is going to be very cute and tame. I'm not into spooking people like that. Clowns are typically people who perform comedy or comedic acts. Clowns have been around for a long time, including the court jesters from the Middle Ages and the harlequin from the early 17th century England. Clowns are probably best known as circus clowns with their distinct white makeup, silly costumes, and colorful wigs. My design for Venti is going to be based on this circus performer aesthetic. I have a confession. Though, story time, when I was younger, I used to be deathly afraid of clowns. It was most likely because of the movie It that I watched when I was definitely too young, but I found them terrifying to even look at. I had the kind of fear that made me think about said fear all the time, and it was nauseating. But by pure accident, I unlocked a special mind superpower. I didn't want to be scared anymore, so I just decided to pretend that I really liked clowns. This is probably going to sound a little weird, but the way I did this was by verbally telling people I liked clowns and drawing clowns all the time on my homework assignments. I even came up with original clown characters and stories. I probably creeped out a lot of my classmates and teachers like this, but it actually worked. I wasn't afraid of clowns anymore, and in fact grew to genuinely like them. But it was actually the superpower I unlocked in my brain that I was most proud of. Just knowing that I could overcome any fear like this made me feel like I was unstoppable, as silly as it was. Today, some of my favorite characters like Harley Quinn and the entire circus clown aesthetic makes me very happy. So of course I based my clown Venti on this circus aesthetic. I kept it tame with the makeup, don't worry. His outfit is cute and digestible for the average enjoyer, with a top hat, simply frilled collar, and vest. His colors are bright, vibrant, and fun. With a few finishing touches, my clown Venti is finished. I think he came out incredibly cute, and I'd definitely go to the circus every day if he was performing. My next costume I have for Venti is a doll. Doll is a pretty general term, but I'm taking inspiration from bisque fashion dolls that were popularized after the 1860s. They're typically toys for children with a humanoid appearance. I particularly like the ones that are creepy, devoid of life in their eyes, with Victorian-inspired clothing. But mostly I based my doll design on my early influences like Lolita fashion and 2000s gothic anime like Vampire Knight, Black Butler, and I guess Death Note because of Misa. To be honest with you, I don't remember having any dolls as a kid, but this is more from the fact that I didn't really own any toys as a kid. Part of the reason is that I always lived very minimalistic due to moving around so much as a kid. Most of my belongings had to be downsized before the next destination. But the main reason for my toyless childhood is because I had many younger siblings and cousins growing up. And if you've had little siblings, you know that anything you own is bound to get taken at some point. So I just learned to detach when my toys, plushies, and things inevitably disappeared. Admittedly, this became a problem when I got older because I didn't take great care of my belongings and lost and threw away a lot of things. Now I'm trying to heal my inner child by collecting things I like and taking better care of things I own now. I'm making little progress. I designed Venti as a ball-jointed doll and gave him a dark gothic outfit and big ribbons. I wanted to depict a doll that made you want to take care of it due to his lifeless eyes and pretty dress. I gave it some pizzazz here and there, and now our doll Venti is complete. If he were my doll, I would make sure to take care of him and give him the prettiest dresses. It's now time for the final costume. I'm going to be honest and let you guys know that I took the easy way out here and just put Venti in a white blanket sheet. Hey, I think I deserve a little break after all the designs I did earlier. I won't go into depth about the history of ghosts because that is very long and varied between cultures, but I will tell you a little bit about where these white cloth costumes came from. So Halloween began with the belief that on October 31st, the boundary between the worlds of the living and dead became blurred, so ghosts could return and wander the earth. Now these ghosts would sometimes wreak havoc and cause some chaos, so to avoid this, people would dress up in costumes to essentially blend in with the spooky characters. One way people would do this was by draping themselves in white cloth to represent the ghosts. So that's why me and Venti are dressed in white cloths as ghosts. I made sure to also give him a cute little pumpkin to hold and a pumpkin choker. Halloween is one of my favorite holidays, and I honestly didn't think I'd do much this year. But thanks to uploading this video and the support of my friends and loved ones, I got to do everything I would have ever wanted to do for Halloween. So here's to hoping your Halloween goes fantastic as well. I'll add the finishing touches and our ghost Venti is all finished. This is the perfect simple costume for a fun night of trick-or-treating. I genuinely can't believe I completed this last-minute Halloween project, but here we are. Here's the final reveal of the completed costumes. I hope you guys enjoyed this Halloween video. Be safe and have lots of fun this Halloween. Until next time, I'm wishing you all the best on your journeys of achieving your goals and dreams. Bye!